medicine. And I'm up here today to talk to you guys to tell you the story of how I started a science mentoring program and to talk to you more about how you can become involved in the outside community. So first, we're going to begin with my early years at Alabama. I was a sophomore biology major, and I was stressed about school, felt like all I did was study, and I wanted to find a way to help people. And the first thing that came to my mind was ballet. I took ballet classes from age 3 to 18, and I also taught ballet in high school. So it seemed like a natural choice for me. So I called an after-school coordinator at an elementary school and asked if I could volunteer. When she agreed, I was so excited. I thought of all the ways I could introduce ballet to these students and teach them about poise, self-discipline, and most importantly, self-confidence. But to my surprise, they taught me way more than I could ever teach them. So one day after class, my student Markia came up to me and asked a simple question. What do you do at Alabama? So I said I'm a college student majoring in biology and trying to become a doctor. And as soon as that came out of my mouth, I got surrounded by all 20 of my students asking me questions rapid fire about being a doctor and doing science and what does that even mean? And I had one student come up to me and say, wow, I've never met someone who wanted to be a doctor before. And with that, my world changed. So in my experience of teaching the ballet, I saw how curious my students were about the world and their natural desire to learn. And I just thought of all the opportunities that they should have and the resources that should be available to them. So I decided to start a science mentoring program. And Discovery Buddies was born. My idea for the program was to bring college students to the elementary schools and do fun science experiments with the kids. We did things like elephant toothpaste, silly putty, Diet Coke Mentos was their favorite by far. And the main premise of the program is to get the kids really interested in science, show them that it can be fun, it can be more than just learning facts and memorizing them, and to also encourage them to pursue careers in science because most of my mentors are also science majors at Alabama. So here I am, a sophomore biology major with this big idea and I have no idea where to start. So I sat down and thought what I needed. First, I needed to find funding to purchase this experiment supplies. Then I needed to figure out how I was going to find the mentors, where was I going to find all these people. And then third, I had to decide how I was going to convince elementary school principals to let college students come to their schools and teach them about science. And at first, I was overwhelmed. I didn't know really where to start. And then I thought about my students, and I thought about how much they really deserve this opportunity and this resource. And so I decided just to go for it. And I started by contacting the after-school coordinator and telling her about my idea. She was very encouraging, so I went to Alpha Epsilon Delta Pre-Health Honor Society and asked if they would provide a source for mentors. When they said yes, I went to Tussocks in One Place, a nonprofit organization, met with the program director, gave her all of my ideas, all the curriculum, all the numbers and budgets, and asked if they would fund it. When they agreed, I secured a faculty advisor and the planning began. So we started with a pilot program in fall 2013. We had brand new experiments, college mentors who had never done this before, and then 3 grades of elementary students who had no idea what to expect. What could possibly go wrong? Well, first, we did the silly putty experiment. So what we did was we took cornstarch and water, mixed them together, and it makes a semi-solid material. And I thought it'd be a fun way to teach the kids about the different properties of a solid and a liquid. But one of my students, Damien, had better ideas. So I walked over to help a group with the project. I looked up, and Damien is covered from head to toe in cornstarch. Keep in mind, he's wearing black shirt, black jeans, and black shoes. So I pulled him aside and explained to him that the experiments were for the supplies only, This applies for further experiments only. And I wrote a note home to his mom to explain why her son was covered in this white powder. And then second, we did elephant toothpaste. So what we do is we combine dishwashing soap, hydrogen peroxide, yeast, and food coloring. And we mix them together and it creates a reaction. So we're about halfway through the experiment, and I realized that we need hot water to activate the yeast. And to my surprise, elementary schools do not have any source of hot water except for in the cafeteria. And like I said, this is an after-school program, so we could not get in there. So we had to get creative. We found a microwave right in the teacher's lounge and heated up the water, ran upstairs, did the experiment, and to our surprise, it worked. And we saw, and the kids were like just ecstatic to watch the huge foam shoot out of the water bottle and into the tin. They just loved that experiment, and I was really relieved that it worked. and even with these mishaps, we really did have a successful first year. And now we're in our second year, and we have expanded to 2 schools, 2 elementary schools. We have over 90 mentors, and we have an excellent executive team. And we've also been featured in 3 articles associated with Alabama and the Tuscaloosa area. And we've had the opportunity to showcase some of our fun experiments at the elementary schools, open houses, and also do presentations for Tuscaloosa One Place Advisory Council. So we've had incredible opportunities and experiences with this program. But this program all began with Markia, my student who had never met anyone who wanted to be a doctor before. I created the program to change that for her and her classmates. And I encourage you guys to step outside your classroom. And I know in class sometimes we discuss things and we have heated debates about major social and societal issues, but we really feel like we don't have the tools to do anything about it. But I encourage you to go outside in the outside community, volunteer, interact with people, and I promise you will find needs that need to be filled. And think of ways that you can fill them with your passions and ideas, and you'll be surprised with the ripple effect that it can have. You really can create change with just very small initiatives in the outside community. And lastly, I will leave you with the wise words of Nelson Mandela: it always seems impossible until it's done.